Introducing the new ADC LCpro T Wi-Fi app for use with iPad by Apple Incorporated. Please update your iPad to the most recent version of iPad OS. You will receive an email invitation to become a tester for the app. Please open this email on your iPad and click the link to install TestFlight. TestFlight is a service provided by Apple Incorporated. Install TestFlight to be presented with this screen. You may be prompted to enter the code you received in your invitation email. Install the ADC LCpro T Wi-Fi app. On the instrument console, enter the configuration page, press More, then press Wi-Fi. Here you will find the service set identifier, network IP address, port number and password. On your iPad, open the app. By referring to the instrument Wi-Fi configuration page, please input instrument details into the app: the network SSID, the network IP address, port number and password. On your iPad, open Settings. Select Wi-Fi, and here you should see the instrument's network address. Add as a new network to connect the two devices. The app will ask for your permission before connecting to the instrument's Wi-Fi hotspot. Also in Settings, disable Auto Lock to prevent the iPad from putting the LCpro T app into the background. We recommend reducing the iPad screen brightness to save power. Open the app. Press Connect to begin communication with the instrument. The graphs on the right will now begin to plot and record live data from the leaf chamber. Touch the information icon to select a colour for each plot. Values can also be displayed within each plot for additional clarity. Cref is the first parameter to be plotted in parts per million. Can, the delta C, is also in ppm. Eref, An and delta E are displayed in millibar. Tch, broad chamber temperature, is followed by Tleaf in degrees centigrade. Assimilation rate or photosynthesis rate, transpiration rate, Ci, intercellular CO2 concentration, and Gs, stomatal conductance, are the four main calculated parameters most commonly plotted and studied. Flow rate, and lastly Qleaf, displaying the light received at the leaf plane. Press Controls to display the available options. Set the temperature within the broadleaf chamber. The Peltier heat exchanger begins to operate on the broad chamber. The graphs for Tch and Tleaf can be seen here to change as the set value is achieved. CO2 concentration can be set when a CO2 cartridge is installed in LCpro T. Here CO2 is set to 400 ppm. C analysis drops down to 400 ppm as the control takes effect. The scale on any graph can be expanded using two fingers or contracted to view data points in detail. Water vapour concentrations in the reference air, Eref, and the chamber air, An, are viewed here. H2O can be set to control at, above, or below these values, depending on the achievable relative humidity. A reference graph is provided in the main LCpro T manual. Both the drier and wetter chemical columns must be filled. PAR, or light, can be set when either an RGB or a white light unit is connected. Here, a colour light unit is set to equal outputs of red, green and blue LEDs. The maximum available is 800 micromole per metre squared per second. On the LCpro T climate page, This setting is displayed as Q%RGB, 33% for each colour in this case. Q-leaf is the corrected light level at the leaf plane, plotted on the app. This factors in the TRW window transmission set on LCpro T in the usual way. Air flow rate to the broadleaf chamber can be set here, between 68 and 341 micromole per second. The default value for broad chamber is 200 on the LCpro T. To avoid LCpro T settings being accidentally altered, the app can lock the LCpro T console. The app can also power down the LCpro T remotely. When the iPad is disconnected from LCpro T, you can view the instrument information, the ADC website, and the review page. To view a list of data files and graphical screenshots automatically saved by the app, here you can also edit file names and add notes for reference when analysing your data. The data files are now available on your iPad. The graphical screens are not available to download. You have the option to take a screenshot of the plots at any time through your iPad. A step-by-step guide to sharing data files from your iPad to your Windows 10 device using Wi-Fi is provided in the Quick Start Guide to the ADC LCpro T app.